health indicators are not the worst in Meru. What happens when you're right at the center of things? You are the attraction. You are the attraction. So you will attract all this attention, both good and bad. This attention you want to come to Meru, itakuja na mzigo wake, mtakuwa tayari. So it's all very well to be at the center and say, ni sisi, lakini kile tutamwagika hapo tu. Sasa mtakuwa tayari. You have to be ready. As much as you will progress, being at the center, you are an attraction for people. So let's find out, as we are attractive, how can we also be prepared so that si ati watu akija mnaanza kujitenga. That's not what I'm saying. Don't start kama wewe ni mgeni, kuna vetting special, kuna screening special. Hatutaki kuogopa wageni, lakini tunataka wale wageni wanakuja because of the attractions of production, attractions of development, can fit in and proceed. Sasa ni muda wenu kuongea. It's not for me to speak, nataka kusikia kutoka kwenu. Mtueleze watu wa Meru mnataka kuanzia wapi kupigana na ukimwi.
Sasa nauliza swali langu ni hili. Ni mtatusaidia namna gani kwa wale ambao magonjwa tegemezi? Kwa sababu ARV wanachukua, lakini magonjwa tegemezi mandawa ingine inakuwa na pesa mingi na tunashindwa kuwasaidia na mtatusaidia namna gani?
Tupatie mfano.
Tuseme amepimiwa, anaonekana anataka pesa mingi, kama anaandikiwa magonjwa yale yamemchika.
Kwa mfano kama ugonjwa gani?
Kansa.
Nataka tuzungumze kwa sababu lazima tutoe wazi, tujue ni gani ili tuweze kupata suluhisho. Kwa hivyo wao unazungumzia mambo kama ukipimwa upate uko na kansa,
na magonjwa kama ya diabetes. Sasa ako na magonjwa mawili. Na ndawa naye anachukua, tutamwasaidia na magonjwa mengine unajua always in mingi ili ina affect hawa.
My question is, already I have OVC living with HIV and AIDS. I have a chance to Fadhariwa where I send girls in a boarding school. Boys are already suffering. They have nowhere to go. My question is, why are we sending the OVCs who are already left by their parents and they are affected with HIV and AIDS?
What do you mean by OVCs?
Orphans and vulnerable children.
Yes, I want everybody to understand what we're talking about.
My group is already supporting OVCs, children with HIV AIDS, supported by CAC, ATOA. So my question is, where are we sending those children?
Okay.
Because already they have the place, but if they are over 80 years, they will not be accepted in the Aina bonding. Out of them boys.
My question is, we have talked about the stigma. We have a beautiful home for children in Chiru. We have 98 orphans, but when I go to look for the secondary schools for them, in many secondary schools in this county, I was told by the principals, unfortunately we can't accept your girl or your boy because he's HIV positive and we don't have facilities and we don't know how to take care of these children.
Okay.
And my answer is that they don't need to be taken care of. They know how to take care of themselves.
They need to be accepted.
They have to be accepted because they have the medication, they know what time and when they're supposed to take them. So there is a lot of problems in this county with education for children who are HIV positive orphans. Thank you.
Very good. That's why we're here. And I'm sure when we bring them up like that, the governor is here. He and his government will respond to that, especially when we're talking about people who acceptance, stigma. Is stigma a very small issue in Meru? Who wants to tell me some more about stigma?
And stigma can only be treated through disclosure. I'm living with HIV for more years than my friend here. I'm also working in Meru Methodist Hospital as a PWP. I am a trained PHC counselor. Stigma can only be finished if those people who are HIV positive come out at the stage that they are positive. In my region where I am, I'm very happy. The governor said that there are youth groups and the women groups. But where did you leave the men groups? We have already initiated that one, Madam Governor, Your Excellency. We have during check HIV supporting groups. Not that during check you know in the bars. This time it is the during check who are infected with HIV. I am an elder of during check, and we have 2 active ones. One is Canada during check HIV support group. It has already been funded by TOA. This war in Meru and the stigma and everything else. If you put the Njorincheke people ahead, there is no war in Meru which will be won without the help of these men. Incidentally, I'm one of them. I'm a Tayan teacher. I know the terrain. I know how to go about it. And we have really helped these men. If you can help
So
men
can you promise us that the commitment is there and you're going to push it?
Yes.
Because from there, now we shall find out what support you'll get from the government.
Yes.
So we're happy at least you're committing already as a jury.
Yes, it's already there.
To me, I do believe that HIV and AIDS in Meru County Hall, Mount Kenya at Ranch, the mobilization part of it, the participation of people living with HIV in terms of advocacy work and mobilization has fully taken place. And me as a person living with HIV and AIDS, we have totally participated towards awareness creation and community sensitization at ranch.
Tell me where you see a challenge. Tell me where you see a challenge.
One, the people living with HIV are never given a chance. We are only there in terms of mobilization. When it comes to implementation, we are only not fully involved. And the challenge, we are not totally fully involved. We are there like lava stamps. We are there like stepping stones towards the implementation of HIV and AIDS work.
As we are talking about HIV, now HIV comes through sex. And these people, they are men selling sex, they are women selling sex. I congratulate you, University of Nairobi, for having a group that is assisting. Is the county government thinking of how it can assist these people? I being one of them, my friends are here, they are also members of that organization. How can the governor assist us? We have some projects, the income generating activities that you are doing, like necrosis, detergents, but you don't have the money, the funding of it.
Have you been able to channel a specific need?
A specific need?
Yes, you said funding. What else? Is there something specific? Is there an area you want specific attention?
I'm saying that we are doing some income generating activities.
Yes.
And if those people have those things, then they will come from selling sex. And when they stop selling sex, they will stop also spreading of HIV AIDS.
Okay, let's deal with that.
Thank you very much, Rui, and His Excellency the Governor. I'm so excited. I think you asked what can be done. This is the very first session that we have had an open session where we are discussing about HIV/AIDS. So the beginning of fighting stigma, as my friend has said, it starts with us. It starts with us acknowledging that HIV is a disease like any other disease. And we have seen things working. And the commitment that His Excellency has given there is very telling. That we are going to fight this scourge if we all join and work together. It is doable. If we can take care of children who come to our facilities even at 6 years, you take care of them, and now some of them are in the university. I want to confess that it is possible. So you're in the right track, and you have come, and out of this hall, we are coming with the solutions that are going to take this county far. As we are central, we are going to be a showcase for others to emulate. Thank you.
Okay.
We need to accept that there are people within our population that people assume, they are not sexually active. So we need to narrow down so that we can be able to create awareness to the community on the issues of people with disabilities and related to HIV. Again, information is a challenge because we don't have sufficient materials in brailles concerning HIV/AIDS. We don't have sign language information.
So you've been pushed to the corner. The assumption is you're not sexually active.
Yes.
There's no inclusion.
Yes.
And who is the person shutting you out the most? The government or institutions, or even just your fellow citizen? Where is the biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge is with the community, because the community has their own perspective.
Of who should be sexually active?
Yes, of who should be sexually active. And again, when we come even to the issue of testing, when it comes to people with disabilities, this one doubles.
Okay.
Because you can, when somebody is supposed to go for HIV testing, you are from the interior, there is this challenge of transport, you have wheelchair, you have somebody who will to accompany you.
Okay.
So it's a big challenge, and we need, if we have to do something, then I think we need to narrow down, see what specific things we can do so that we can be able to target specifically people with disabilities.
Right. There was a hand here, in front of you here.
I'm HIV positive. My challenge ile naona sana ni kwa sababu ya youth wale tuko nao in the community. Watoto wale wako mashuleni ni kama wamesaurika. Na ndio watoto wale wengi sana tunaona wanaacha madawa. Especially in our place, unaona mtoto ameenda secondary, alikuwa na take ARVs wakati ako na mzazi. Lakini wakati ameenda secondary, anaacha hiyo, anapatiwa madawa naenda naweka kwa box. Tukirudi kuwauliza, wanasema wanataka kufanya experiment na miili yao. Sasa hiyo kitu nataka tuangalie na wa county.
Nataka kufanya nini?
Kufanya experiment na miili yao vile watakaa.
Bila madawa.
Bila madawa.
Please come. You spoke for people living with
cancer and youth.
When we look at a visual, because I hear this is what we're very good at in some areas. Tunamwangalia, huyu hawezi kuwa na ukimwi. Have you encountered that? What happens?
Sometimes when you go in the community and you say that you are HIV positive, unajua watu wanaanza kusema we ni kulipo umelipo.
Umelipwa?
Hapana, message.
No, yani unakuambia hivyo tumelipo.
Wanakuambia we umelipo. Unajua hiyo kitu unajiuliza kwa nini umelipo. Unajua for you to stand here and say that you are HIV positive, to some imetuchukua. Somebody like me nilikuwa na CD4 ya 20 kgs. Huyu ni mtu alikuwa naenda. But right now you can see, na nataka kwenda Slim Possible. Because
Kwa hivyo kuna wale wanakuangalia, wanasema wewe huwezi kuwa na virusi.
Siwezi nikaona.
Sasa ukikutana nao unawaambia nini?
Nawaambia virusi siko.
Kwa lugha ya mtaa wanasema bado wanakutune tu hata.
Wananitune tu, simu sinaingia kwa simu. Napata messages na datiwa.
Wanakuambia nini?
Wanasema tu wananitaka. Lakini
kulingana na vile wameona.
Kulingana na vile wanaona, lakini hawajui what is inside me.
Sasa kama kuna hapo wengine wanakutaka.
Wasiruhusu.
Kulingana na vile wamekuona.
Usiruhusu.
Ungewaambia nini?
Tumeni tu messages nitareceive.
But do you understand what we are saying?
Ukituma usiwe na wasiwasi, protection iko hapo. Condom sio shida kwangu.
Atukupigi simu sasa. But you understand what we are trying to say. You cannot, from your visual ability, decide who is infected and who isn't. Something which has totally not been touched on. Is it totally new?
I've realized from the data that you are given here, 44% they are in the stable marriage. And 14% are the commercial sex workers. And you realize that commercial sex workers, they have maybe the percentage is low in comparison to stable marriages. My concern is, if they have prevention measures, especially in this area of marriage or stable marriage, maybe you can reduce the prevalence. In which way? Utilization of condom. 90% we are told that it's helping prevention. But are we utilizing? Are you advocating maybe utilization of condom
Where is the
in
last
an
place
open?
you went to do the campaign?
Yeah, you have
And
talked about my responsibility. It's begin with here to tumia any condom. That a message, for example. But you realize when you talk about it,
Wanakwambia nini?
yeah, maybe so. Hauko straight in
Mbona
simple.
unasita?
Najaribu
Ukitaja
kutafuta.
condom wanakwambia nini?
Well, labda you are cheating or ni kama maybe a prostitute, if I may use the word. But now my concern, and maybe it begins with me, that is my responsibility. We can advocate as part of prevention.
How the government of Meru community under the leadership of Governor Munya can turn the problem valley into a door of hope. If the disabilities are suffering from mobility and the rehabilitation centers to be accessed to education, because the education is the apprenticeship of life.
With my experience as a person with a disability, I will talk about especially the deaf people. Most of them, they have been dying because of HIV, because they are positive. Because we have a problem of access to information, and also we have that stigma. And we have tried to do some research, and we don't have materials which are disability friendly, especially for the deaf people. Yes, we don't have, for example, reproductive health issues. We have a challenge because we have communication problem. For example, if we go to the hospitals, we don't have interpreters. That's the biggest challenge which we have been facing.
I want to get responses now because we need to have a direction. The reason we're raising these things, we need to have a direction. So we'll get responses from NAC, and then we shall take the suggestions you've made and give ownership of them through your governor, so that we then agree which way we're going for. But before we get your commitment, you've raised technical issues, there's a response to them.
Sex workers organization require funding for alternative methods of livelihood. I can tell you for sure that an attempt has been made through the TOA project to reach out to sex workers, provide support for them, so that those who like, because there are some that don't like, even if you provide them with that alternative, you still find them selling sex. But our advocacy is that those who can change, because that would probably help us a great deal, we are advocating for that. But those who don't want to change and are still going on, it is your right, but our advisory would be, please change. Okay, so that if you are still want to engage, even with an alternative method of earning a livelihood, provided, make it safe. People with disabilities are actually accepted in our programs. If you look at the third strategic plan that we are implementing now, there are indicators within the M&E framework where we are capturing what is happening to people with disabilities. We are advocating, because of socio-cultural factors, for a widespread acceptance and integration into society, so that everything else that would make their lives comfortable is brought on board, including looking at their sexual and reproductive health rights, which is constitutional.
One, I wanted to say Meru County is investing heavily in health. We are committing to spend 900 million in year one this year. And out of that amount of money that we're going to spend, 141 million is going to be buy commodities or medicines, including for any disease my sister here already mentioned. We all know HIV does not kill anybody. In fact, you can live with it for many years. What actually takes you down is other infections, whether it's a TB or malaria, and that's what we want to take care of. And fortunately enough, any other medicine except antivirals are what are used in any other, in treatment of any other coordination, and so we should be able to cater for that. The national government and also partners are buying antiretrovirals and they're given for free. And in fact, we shall be having in the coming year 800,000 Kenyans on treatment, so no one needs to worry about that. What you need to do is a test and know your status early. The other thing I needed to say also equally, no one will have opportunistic infections unless you wait until you are so sick. If you're able to test early and you know your status, you can actually go on treatment. Thankfully also, the guidelines are changing. We shall begin from next year to start anybody who is HIV infected on treatment when you have a CD4 cell count of 500 and below. And anybody who is fairly healthy, not infected, actually usually has 1,000 cells per ml of blood. So we are talking about a half. And at that time, nobody truly has infections, including TB and all. So the challenge we face is making sure people test early, you know your status. If you did, you should be able to remain pretty and handsome as anybody else, and no one will know you're infected.
The issue of children being turned away from school because they are HIV positive, I think that is a sad, very sad situation. I think the right way to deal with it is let us get reports of schools that turn away children. It is not enough to take them and you are turned away and then you keep quiet. Because it is the right of every child to access education in the country. It is in the law. So there is no school that has a right to turn away children from accessing school. It is discrimination. It is against the Constitution. It is illegal. So whether it is caused by stigma or not, we need to take action. That is one way also of dealing with the stigma, by making people also realize, those who are in charge of institutions and in charge of certain services that are meant for the public, that it is the right of everybody to access education. It's the right of all children in Kenya to access education. So nobody has a right to turn away anybody on the excuse that they are infected. I was also very encouraged to know that there is a Njuri group that is leading from the front in fighting this epidemic. And Mura, we need to work with the Njuri because that will give us, we need a cultural onslaught. And Njuri are the people, the right people to lead in dealing with some of the negative cultural values that still make the stigma to continue. So if we have our elders leading in front, then we need to support them, to work with them, to see that the epidemic is fought from the cultural front. I think it is important for us also in our community in Meru, especially in Meru and even in Eastern, to start thinking about the boy child. Because many of the statistics we have now indicate that there is a problem with the boy child. If you go to the schools, for example, you go to most of our schools, you'll find from the primary school, we have almost equal numbers of boys and girls. You go to the secondary school, the boys are now fewer. The girl child has overtaken the boy child. I'm not saying the girl child should not be in school. I'm saying we should also now remember that the boy child is now becoming disadvantaged. What we need is an equilibrium so that the society functions properly. We shouldn't have less boys in school. We shouldn't have less girls in school. We want a functional society where the balance is maintained. So we need to also do something about keeping the boy child in school. This is the situation in Eastern. I thought it was only Meru. I checked. I was told even other parts of Eastern province, the boy child is now absent in school. If you go to like the day schools, you'll find even 60 to 70% of the students there are girls. So what is happening with the boy child? So we need to, as a county, start thinking about that, start planning on what to do to bring back the boy child to school. Basically, I'm saying, and summarizing by saying, that we all need to play our role. Every one of us, we need to take this as our responsibility. We need to see it as our problem. Then work together as a community to deal with the challenges that we have been able to raise today. Thank you.
What?